Looks like using a man is okay. I mean, a woman who uses a man for free meals is considered smart, but a man who uses a woman just for quick action is a bad person. Sorry, but not sorry. These women wanted equality. There, they have it. There are consequences for every action.
I'm single and I'm not seeing anybody.
Okay. And so you said you do fans. And are you also in the industry? Or
No,
just like
OnlyFans.
solo OnlyFans stuff?
I do collaborations with like my friends.
Okay.
Sometimes.
What does that mean?
Like girlfriends, guy friends, both?
Just girlfriends.
Just girlfriends?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're bi or?
I'm gay for pay.
I see. Okay, you're gay for pay. Okay. And how's the, I don't know if you're comfortable sharing, but like, how's the OnlyFans going?
Really great. I've been doing it since before COVID. A lot of people started it during the pandemic. I started in the adult industry when I was 18 as a cam girl. So
How much were you making when you were a cam girl?
I was making a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
For an 18-year-old. Before that, I was working at McDonald's since I was
Hell
16.
Yeah.
So
What's a pretty good amount? Like, how much is that? If you don't mind sharing.
I won't say the exact amount, but I'm doing pretty well.
Like
and at the time, I was doing really good.
4 figures weekly, 5 figures weekly?
No, not that much.
Okay.
5 figures a month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock and
Nice.
roll. Okay.
Wait, have you seen any guys since you started this career?
Like, have I been with any guys?
Like, have you dated any guys?
Well, I was in a 7-year relationship that ended in March, so I never did like boy-girl collaborations for OnlyFans.
That wasn't really where I was going. I was just curious, like,
Oh.
if he had like any thoughts on it. Like, did he like it? Did he not mind? Did he
Oh,
dislike
that I was
it?
doing OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I think it took him a little while to get used to, because he knew me before it, but yeah.
So you guys were dating, was that even before you started doing cam girl stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you share any of your revenue with him? Like, was he taking photos for you, or how did that work?
Yeah, he would be in some of my videos, and I would not give him a penny.
Wow, that confession right there is on a whole new level. She used him and even says that with no remorse. No wonder why men don't care about a woman's success. At the end of the day, her money is just her money, and that's not shared with anyone.
You would not give him a penny?
No, why would I?
Shafted.
Why would I? Okay, let's switch it up. Why would a man provide and protect? Just saying. Oh, and when the robbers break in, she better protect herself without any man's help. But yeah, you can be sure that she'll scream for a man's help, preferably one who's jacked and strong as the goddamn rockin' Vin Diesel.
Why didn't you want to pay him? He was like doing work.
I mean, he was gonna do it anyway, and why would you not want to like help your girl out and like, you know?
A gentleman.
What?
Go on, Chase.
I mean, I personally wouldn't like do that in a relationship, but if I was your boyfriend and if I didn't have the same value system that I have, like I'd be like, yo, like cough it up, come on.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting in work here, you know?
I didn't force him, you know, and to each their own, so.
Sounds like you kind of worked him.
Well, it is what it is. I don't know what to say.
At least she's honest. Anyway, she's far from being a good woman. Let's check some comments. I didn't force him, you know. The only work that should be compensated is forced labor confirmed. It's so sad and pathetic that this girl doesn't realize the necessary conclusions that come with what she is saying. Also, for an example, why wouldn't you want to help your girl out with OF? Yes, why ever could a person not want to help someone they love with degrading the sanctity and purity of their body and character? However could someone not condone that, and however could such individuals that do help, or those whom choose to engage in such things, not be viewed as vile scum? It's a regular Scooby-Doo mystery, I tell you. If you're exploiting anyone, that's a bad thing to do. I don't know, some of these girls on these podcasts just seem completely dead and empty. I realize dead on the inside is a commonly used phrase, but it really seems to apply. She says, why wouldn't you help your girl out? Maybe because your girl isn't helping you out. The irony of these girls being on this podcast is that this video will be on the internet forever, and if they ever have kids, their kids are going to get to see these videos, these podcasts, and understand what a horrible person their mother was in her youth. Sounds like she used her boyfriend without his knowledge and made profit off of it, which is illegal. Dude could sue her for a percentage of what she made if he finds out. She basically prostituted him for free and no outrage from the panel. Speaking of relationships, it's damn obvious that men and women look for different things. Men want women with a clean past, while women want experienced men, and yeah, that includes a good performance in bed on his end. Most of you guys know a guy who got ghosted by a chick just because he wasn't good enough in the bedroom. Still, some women think that it's all messed up and men should be more disciplined.
Raise your hands nice and high, nice and high. I want to see what the thing is. Okay, so that's a majority. Now, just out of curiosity, who thinks the woman needs to be more sexually experienced for the relationship to work? Raise your hands. Nobody? That's why you need to fuck 50 bitches. Like, bro, wow. People think
that
I'm
was
just
easy.
over here. People think I'm just over here being a dickhead or being a misogynist, whatever. By their own answers, the average girl has a high body count. By their own accord, the man needs to be more sexually experienced. So it is what it is.
But
I'm telling you guys to acclimate to the current sexual marketplace.
Bed, right?
But we care
Can
about
I just
men
finish my
being
sentence
good
real
in bed.
fast?
We're wrapping up.
You need to acclimate to the current sexual marketplace, guys.
By the way, if that wasn't a drop the mic moment, I don't know what was.
And
Melina
Okay.
has something. Go ahead.
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like a lot of men care about it, right? A lot of men don't care about women being good in bed at all.
But women care about men being good in bed. That's the point.
Yeah,
what
but
I just
but I
said,
don't.
yeah.
But it's only because men care about the status of fucking women. That's what it
And the
is.
stat is 19. I actually looked it up before the show.
You just gotta focus on what you want to
19.
get.
I don't
if you
even
want
think
men,
that men
you
really
take
do like
advice from
sex.
men.
I think it's just nice to say that you've fucked a lot of people. That's what it seems like only men care about. Absolutely. Because you would rather pick a girl
Yo, moderators.
that
Don't you and your
you
husband
would
fuck
rather pick a
everybody
girl with no sexual
openly,
experience
freely?
at all.
Well, if you
Look,
chase men,
it's very simple.
Eric.
Since the beginning of time, men have preferred virgins.
Andres.
I don't make the rules. I
Kind
just
of
report
boring,
them.
isn't it?
No, what that means is that men prefer women that
But that
have...
means you don't like sex.
Like
You don't
sexu-
like sex in that case. You only like the status of having sex with a lot of people.
No, you can train her.
If she's a virgin, she's clearly not going to be that good, right?
But that's your job as the man to do what I said at the top of the show, coach her.
But why wouldn't you just have someone that's already good in bed?
Let's use
Why wouldn't you want someone that is like a fucking 10 out of 10 at blowjobs? Why wouldn't you pick that instead?
I mean, you got 100 plus men telling you here that they prefer women that have
Yeah,
lower
and
body
all
counts.
of them are delusional. I don't care about what they think. I care about what I think in my experiences. I probably fucked more women than most of these guys have in the audience, okay?
What the fuck?
What she has bragged about is just insane. She's not bragging about her degree, qualifications, or culinary skills. No, she's bragging about sleeping with more women than any men in that damn room. This shows the priorities of modern women. They prefer getting to know themselves by sleeping around instead of becoming what men really look for in a woman.
Hold on. I'll pose her one question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say that in general most women prefer a man taller than themselves?
What do you say? Sorry.
Taller.
Would it be fair to say that in general women prefer a man taller than themselves?
Yeah, that's true.
Would it be fair to say that in general women prefer a man that makes more money than them?
Yes,
I guess some, yeah.
In general,
Come
not
on,
yourself.
Be honest.
I
Would
mean,
it be-
they want the man to make money, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure how people really, like how much they care about it.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that women want a guy that is more confident and ambitious than themselves?
Yeah, those things, yes.
Okay. What if I said that women are delusional for these inherent standards?
I don't think it's delusional to have those standards.
Stop the show right there. I don't think it's delusional that they want women that have low body counts.
Yeah, but why?
Hold
What
on,
is
stop
the
the show.
reason?
Stop the show. Stop the show.
The reason
This
they
is-
want to have someone
Melina, stop
that
for 2
has
seconds.
a low body
Melina,
count.
stop for 2 seconds.
Okay. Can I finish it after?
No, hold on.
Okay.
Because this is the quintessential example of what I mean when I say female standards are respected and supposed to be adhered to, whereas male standards are considered delusional.
The only reason they want virgins is because they're really insecure that a dick might have been better than theirs.
Nobody said.
That chick right there and a whole bunch of bad women prioritize sex over anything else. They have the audacity to talk about a man's tools and even mock a guy in front of their female friends if he performs badly in bed. Women who genuinely think that it's okay if a man is not that skillful in bed are flat out a minority. Anyway, a woman who brags about banging a whole lot of people, aka both men and women, do not deserve to be praised. If she graduated from medical school, she could be praised, but I'm sure she'll be the one getting checked for having STDs and not the one curing them.
That is it. That's true.
I don't think they were saying that back in the day, though.
Because you're not giving me any reason at all to
Listen,
why
guys,
is better in bed.
We're going to do a couple super chats. And then get your questions ready because I'm coming to you guys in the next 10 minutes before we wrap up. So if you got questions for Walt and Myron, get them ready because we're coming to you. Nat, we got...
Let's check the comments. Melina bragging about being smashed by a bunch of dudes is equivalent to a man bragging about how many girls he's taken on foodie calls. Sex with no commitment coming out of it as a woman is equivalent to expensive dinner dates with no sex coming out of it as a man. I'll never not be astounded by women arguing with men over the traits we openly tell them we desire, then having them tell us we're wrong and we actually want something else instead. Melina admitting that she's slept around is not a flex. Women have sexual access on demand, so she's basically admitted to being a hoe. Melina really thinks she did something, but it was just proving Myron's point. Women want to control what men think about them when it comes to body count. Women who have sex for fun are not marriageable women. Melina bragging about getting sex is like a human bragging about breathing air. You literally chose the path of least resistance. We live in the era of political correctness, so everyone is beautiful. Yeah, a likely story. Women might come up with that narrative, but why would they settle for a man with a few extra pounds, no real skills, and flat out nothing they want? This kind of man ain't getting no chicks. However, average-looking women can easily get a whole bunch of dudes. Thankfully, this psychologist debunks the delusion of modern women.
Everyone is born already basically just beautiful, so I don't think there's a reason to rate people and bring them down, or I don't like the bringing down aspect of it.
Well, I don't think it necessarily brings people down, but
I feel like it could.
It could.
Yeah.
I agree with you, actually. I think that everybody can be beautiful, but I think it would be naive to say that we're all equally attractive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Great.
The attractive aspect.
So I think what we're getting into is sexual marketplace value. So I have some interesting takes on this. Maybe I can share them at this point. So I think that there's a few different ways that we can approach this, and I think it's generally done with not a lot of nuance. I think that everybody kind of has what I call a normalized sexual marketplace value, which is sort of like, according to the standards of the culture in which you live, how well do you measure up on the most important dimensions to the opposite sex? So a number of the things that you've brought up today are like height. This guy led with his socioeconomic status. He makes $200,000 a year. So these are things that I think would be on normalized sexual marketplace value for men. For women, it would be their physical appearance, their age, things like that. But no one really knows what their sexual marketplace value is because all transactions are based on perceived sexual marketplace value. Like, I got a thing for cute nerds. That's my thing. And that's not necessarily what the culture tells me women are supposed to look like in terms of their archetypal beauty. But that's something that's really interesting and attractive to me. And you never really know until you engage a person how they perceive you in terms of your general attractiveness. Just because you don't accord with the socialized, normalized sexual marketplace value doesn't mean that you can't be highly attractive. Or conversely, just because you are 6'4" and you make a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be very attractive to certain women, right?
Yeah.
But the kicker is that you really only know your sexual marketplace value when you get into a relationship. So it's like, I knew somebody that I was very close to. She was an artist, and she had never sold a painting before. And she started by offering her paintings for $100,000, which, God bless her, I love the courage with that, but it just wasn't really realistic that someone was going to buy a piece of art for $100,000 from an unknown artist. It was only when she began to bring down that price that we got to see what that painting was actually worth. And that only occurred because somebody was willing to pay X amount for it. Until then, the actual price or the value of that painting was kind of like just pure potential. We only really realize worth in the moment of transaction, which can only occur between two individuals.
So you're saying, okay, so then let's say the girl gets into a relationship, then how do you determine her SMV from the guy's status?
Yes. So I think that you can kind of, in this framework, determine a woman's sexual marketplace value by the normalized sexual marketplace value of the men who are willing to get into a relationship with her, and you can determine a man's male sexual marketplace value by the normalized sexual marketplace value of the women he is able to sleep with.
Okay, what if she's gay? How do you determine her SMV?
I don't know. I guess you could do it. I think most of these concepts apply also to gay relationships.
But I don't know if lesbians are hypergamous.
They are really big on commitment. There's an old joke about what does a lesbian bring to a second date, and it's a trailer because she's moving in. So there's takes all kinds, but there is my understanding, a big bent in lesbian relationships towards commitment.
Okay. I just feel like in high schools and colleges, like people kind of date people at their school. They're probably like in a similar income range. Sure. So I don't know how you would determine like the SMV of like a college sophomore is dating another college sophomore who are both kind of an equal amount of college debt. And you wouldn't say she has low SMV because she's dating a guy in debt and not getting scooped up by a millionaire, right? So doesn't that kind of make your definition of SMV kind of irrelevant to most dating instances?
No, because I think it's based on the context in which you exist. So we can say that people might have a normalized sexual marketplace value for the culture at large, but maybe the culture that and the context that matters most to you is your campus. Or maybe it's even just like the people in your homeroom class. Like there's all kinds of hierarchies within social systems as soon as more than two people start to relate to each other.
Okay, so then you would then judge it based off like, okay, is that guy an athlete? Is he like doing well, or like what would be
in high school? Yeah, that's the stereotypical one. It's like who is the big man on campus is the quarterback, right?
Sure.
Now, does this guy can he compete with somebody who's 35, makes $1 million a year? Well, it just depends on what the woman is looking for. You know, she might be so involved in that context that she will actually choose the quarterback over somebody who makes, hundreds of $1,000s a year. Mm-hmm. I think it really depends on the context.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And one more thing, and I think this is why this is great advice for guys, especially maybe the shorter kings out there, 5'7", is find a context in which you can shine. Like you can be a contextual alpha. I know you might not love that term, but you can definitely have a higher sexual marketplace value in certain contexts versus others.
That's a big-ass lecture. Women hear these ideas all the time, but they only care about the delivery, not about the ideas per se. The marketing part is oftentimes way more important than the product. Let's check some comments. I like this guy. The only thing these girls, and many girls, need to realize is that he was talking about what a singular person may or may not like, whereas Brian and other podcasts like this are talking about more of a general thing. My dad always went crazy over the tall blondes. I prefer the smaller brunettes. But we both agree on when a woman isn't attractive. The sad thing is, the way this guy explains things, these girls won't really take much away from it because he says it in a nice way. If you talk to a girl about a touchy subject, they will always try to speak nicely in terms of direct. Therefore, they latch onto the nicer thing and ignore the main contact/point. My girlfriend and I were talking about something today and she kept trying to make it nice and slightly change the point. I had to keep correcting her to keep her on course, but being very direct and straightforward. Then she agreed. I noticed that when she talks with her sisters and mom, they may have a disagreement about something. Both sides make changes to the original point so they can talk nicely and then nothing gets fixed. I don't play those games. Nothing is more attractive than a good personality. That being said, they need to be hot. Mia Khalifa is a perfect example of someone who tries to act smart by utilizing certain words and abbreviations. So easy to see right through this false facade. If you want to observe it in real time, one way is to count the number of times someone uses filler words such as like, because that shows the lack of ability to put coherent thoughts into words. Also, who is this Asian trooper in every video? Yeah, I don't know. That psychologist is great, so let me take the liberty of showing his punchlines even more. On this occasion, he explains why women must earn affection. Most women get it easily just because they have a hot body, so no wonder why they never self-improve. Let's listen to him.
Let's go.
I'm with Tegan on this one.
Chad.
Well, I was much more romantic when I was younger. And I did a lot of things that I saw in the movies. And I did them with a great deal of sincerity. And it generally did not work out very well for me.
That's something 99.9% of men know for a fact. Disney and Hollywood just brainwash men into thinking that being romantic and dreamy is enough, but there's a whole lot going on. And I mean game, looks, and even understanding female nature.
And it didn't lead to the kind of reaction that I was hoping for. I think the reaction I tended to get was, oh yeah, that's very sweet, which several of you ladies expressed. But it certainly didn't lead to it didn't lead to sex, and it didn't lead to a relationship. One of the things that I talk about is, I call it the fundamental rule of attraction, which is that people want what they want, not what wants them. Okay? So there's another principle at play here, which is, see if you follow me on this one. It's not possible for two people to like each other exactly the same amount. Do you guys believe that that's true?
Yes. Do you believe that the man should want the woman more?
No. So let me talk a little bit more about this. So first of all, we're saying it's not possible for two people to like each other. So if that's true, then that means that there's always somebody in a relationship who likes the other person more, and there's always someone in a relationship who likes the other person less. I call this person the adorer and this person the adored. And they're actually like gender neutral. Like men could be here, men could be here, women could be here, women can be here. And when a person is pursuing, when they're showing interest, what they're doing is they're putting themselves in the position of the adorer. And the adorer is actually where everyone really wants to be, both men and women. I think that that's actually true. And that's because when you're in the position of the adorer, you get all of these feelings. You get to be with the one that you love. The thought of them makes your heart race. When they don't text, you're worried and you're anxious. When they do text, you're relieved. When you get to see them, you're really excited and you're into it. The person who adores gets to have the emotional experience. The adored doesn't. The adored has a much greater muted emotional experience because this person gets to be with the one that they love and this person gets to be loved by the one that they're with. And that's a very different experience. Now, there are pros and cons to each. It's not actually better to be the adored or the adorer, though people generally have preferences one for the other. But when a man comes out of the gate with buying flowers and going out of his way, it really does put him in a place of the adorer very early, and it creates a big gap in that attraction because the fact of the matter is that no one has earned that yet. Yeah. And that's why it kind of comes off as untrustworthy. It's because there's nothing that the woman has done yet to demonstrate that she's worthy of his affection. And so it comes off as, even though it's in this, as just kind of desirous of wanting to be liked, which isn't generally why we like people. We don't really like people who want to be liked. We don't respect people who want to be liked. And it's very hard for women to be attracted to men that they don't respect. And so by giving unearned gifts, it generally reduces a woman's respect for a man, which over time, they can think it's sweet, they can think it's cute, but these aren't serious contenders for a woman's affections.
I completely agree. I think kind of what you just said, the woman hasn't really earned it yet. So if I just match with a guy off Hinge and he immediately brings me flowers without us even talking on the phone, I'm thinking he just wants to impress whoever's walking out that door. It has nothing to do with me. So the most recent time a guy bought me flowers was on a first date. I found it cringe. On the fourth date, he bought me a Brita filter and a water bottle, and I thought that was super romantic because I told him I'm super dehydrated because I never have drinking utensils, and that I found romantic. So it's not so much that women don't like gift giving; it's I think that they don't like impersonal gifts.
Well, what I think you, correct me if I'm wrong, what you really liked about that is that the guy was paying attention.
Exactly.
And it wasn't really that.
It wasn't based off this idea of a movie of oh, girl, flower.
That's true. And it wasn't that you really wanted a Brita. You probably could buy a Brita for yourself. It's that somebody was listening to you and demonstrated that with a small gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, giving women free attention and gifts for no reason is bad. Just like men gotta earn their money and status, modern day women need to earn the affection of a man. Let's check some comments. I stopped being chivalrous years ago in 2017, when no slut shaming became a common phrase. Okay, I won't shame you for being a slut, but don't expect me to treat you like a lady. Simple math. Never reward a woman for doing nothing. Let her work for everything. I was the romantic guy when I first started dating. I was told by media that that is what women wanted. I never got anywhere with any woman acting that way. I switched to more of an I don't give a fuck attitude, and, looking back, it was easy to get what I wanted, whether sex or a relationship. Media is lying to you, man. My general rule is never reward a chick for just being a chick. Unless it's her birthday, don't get her anything, don't give compliments until she's earned it. That is one of my rules. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.